Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of FEM Talk. It is that time, FEM Talk Tuesday. And for this month of September, we are back off of sabbatical and we are talking everything entertainment. So tonight's show is going to be amazing. I'm not even going to give it away. I'm just going to bring in the beautiful ladies of FEM Talk. We have Shima She Talks.
Hey, Fem Talkers.
Hey, and we also have Dr. Mimi Melissa Simmons.
Hey, Fem Talk Tuesday.
Yes. So, everybody out there, you know how we always start off this show. Before we get into our amazing topic for the night, we have to give you know what?
The hot topics.
She was always ready to sing.
I know.
Look, that's another show. That's another show. You can't take that from the other. You got to come up with your own song here.
I know.
So, Dr. Melissa, take it away.
Well, because of what we are featuring tonight, we thought that a hot topic to really discuss and really just to show support would be the writers and actors strike that is going on now 3 months and has truly halted all production of new shows for the season. You know, right around now we would be bombarded with all the new shows for the season and all of the cliffhangers that we were waiting for from last season. I know one of my new shows is Abbott Elementary, and I was just waiting to see what was going to happen. And all those shows are on what we call strike right now, and they're really fighting for the rights, the writers, and now the actors of their the writers issue. One of the big sticking points is artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. You know. AI and PBT and all of that. GPT, sorry, GPT. I'm thinking about something else as PBT, but okay, GPT. And thinking that you don't need real people to do this. Exactly. Also, the actors, because of this artificial intelligence, they are also talking about their images being simulated, meaning they don't even have to appear in all of the shots, that the image can be recreated, voice, looks, the whole thing. If anybody saw Indiana Jones this year, they used a lot of that technology to superimpose him in and out of scenes based on his age, because they wanted some of the scenes to be from the past with him looking younger. And they use a lot of this technology to do that. So this is a fight for them not to be replaced. And I think as us that have grown up, and we'll talk about this later on TV and all of that stuff, we learn to love people who they are based on their the naturalness of who they were in terms of their characters and just their authenticity in terms of how they portrayed characters. So this is really big. So I think
many facets.
I have a comment on that though, right? Like, we have these resources out there, right? And they're amazing to use for certain things. But listen, you can't replace a human being.
Right.
You can't replace emotion, right? You can't replace all that goes into what an actor really provides to its audience. Mm-hmm. So I think it's okay for, and this is just me talking, right? I think it's okay for AI to provide some content and context. However, when it comes to the people being able to really relay that message, it has to come from the human. I actually had a young man on the Whole Living show who actually does these characters, and they do look very much lifelike. But what they lack is that, the expressions, the emotion, they lack all of that. So, I hope they don't try to replace people unless it's a cartoon, right?
Even cartoons, you have like, I want to say Cree Summers, I think it's her name from a different world.
Right.
She is behind. She is the voice behind so many of these characters that we see on TV even now, and it's who she is. If you follow her, and you can't replace it. You know, I use every once in a while Chat GPT, and if you don't put the context in that you really want to get, it doesn't come out that way.
Right.
So it doesn't replace the real person, giving it enough information for it to now conjure up a little bit more context. It's not going to give you more than what you put in there. It's
And
just
think about the amount of work you have to put in to get, like Tracy said, emotion, or to get inflection.
That's right.
Like, you can make them look surprised, but there's a little bit more, like you said, emotion, inflection, changes in your voices, and automated voices are not ever going to sound exactly like our voices, but it's not going to give you the feeling that you get when you hear someone's voice. You know, it'll suffice. It'll be, you know, the patch or the Band-Aid, because like, okay, you say what I want you to say, you say what I've written, but I don't feel it.
Yeah.
It's all those intangible things. It's hard to fight, but it's all those intangible things that we get from the actors that we don't get when it's AI. And then for me, I just keep thinking of all these other octopus legs. Okay, now AI, I'm going to take one picture of, I don't know, Tom Cruise, and then I'm going to use AI for every other one. So his movements and all of the things that we like about him that make him him, we're going to lose that. So he's also going to lose money because he's only going to be in the one scene, and the rest is just going to be all computer animated.
Yeah, I love that you chose him, because he does his own stunts.
His own stunts.
Yeah, yeah. But I will say this, and I'm going to leave it right here because we can have a whole show on AI, honestly. But I will say this: if you pay attention to what's happening, a lot of the apps out there, and I'm not going to name any because I'm not going to put them out there like that, they are taking the audio, right? So you're going to find that AI is going to start piercing things together to try to bring it and make it more lifelike. But I still say you can't completely copy a human and what the human being brings. Yeah, you can't completely copy
especially when you think of the writing.
Yeah.
The writing that goes behind it, the talent.
Wittiness is not in the computer. I'm sorry, unless you put it in the computer.
Yeah.
And we're going to, you know, just give you a tease for later. Like, it just mentioned James Earl Jones telling his voice to Disney, you know, that iconic voices. You can't create James Earl Jones that voice. You can't create it. You know, last but not least, I just wanted to put one more, and we could end the topic right here. Is they are Warner Brothers is predicting that the losses for this strike is going to hit about $500 million this season.
Yeah.
So this is not you know small change. So you know my hope is that everybody sees and comes to a realistic and really I'm kind of on the side of my actors and writers come to a realistic decision that you need people.
That's
okay. We're not replacing all the people's talent by a computer. So
that's right.
Exactly. Well, that was our hot topic. You know, we get excited about our hot topics. We
sure do.
Yeah. We need to be topics.
We don't know when to stop.
Yes.
Okay, B. So I'm gonna move it over to Mishima because
that topic was absolutely a definite segue to what we're going to be talking about today, and that is television shows. All of them. What makes them great? What makes them heartfelt? What makes you want to tune in every week, or even set your DVR or run home like a maniac so you can catch the last 27 minutes of it because you missed the first 32 minutes of it. Right. All of those great things, all the things that we're talking about in the hot topic about what draws you into your actors. it's just that box. It's just on the wall, and it takes over some of us. And I say that wholeheartedly because I know I am a binge watcher. I will watch everything, almost everything. And we have some special guest today. I said a special guest today. Oh, she's special, and she has some trinkets for you guys. You wait till she comes up. But I want to ask a question. Kind of hard to ask this question now because, like you said, right now is when you'd be watching the must-see TV and the what's coming next, and the launch date is this day. Because I just said that yesterday. Well, what day is that going to start? Because I'm ready for it. What? Ooh, this might be heavy. The first question of the night.
No, we need a drum roll.
We need a drum roll. Oh, what is your favorite? And y'all know I'm really not a favorite person. I like everything, so it's hard for me to pin it down. But what is your favorite television show? Hands down.
Hands down.
Miss Coach, we said Coach Tracy, what's your favorite show? I know
it's so hard. That is so hard for me because I'm not a big TV buff. I'm a movie buff, not a big TV buff. However, if I had to go through some of the ones that I really loved watching, oh boy,
FEM Talkers, did you hear that? Some of the ones. Some of the ones. And I'm going back, right? Because I watched more TV when I was younger than I do now. Yeah. But the Cosby Show was a big one for me. Yeah. In my, fabulous days of hanging out, and I loved Girlfriends. And when it comes to comedy, I'm a cynical comedy lover. So I loved Everybody Loves Raymond because the dad used to have me on the floor. And then I can't leave out Friends and Sex in the City. Love them all. Love them all. Really? Miss, this is our super fan. We have a super fan. Super fan Jen Simmons said, Sisters. Tyler Perry's Sisters.
Really?
I have not gotten into that.
Me neither. Right. Oh boy. This is Us. Oh, that was. Oh, yes.
See, who was that? Denise, you are throwing us into the heartfelt question already. Because that one pulls at your heartstrings. Oh my goodness.
That was a phenomenon when it was on. I mean, people was running, like you said, Shima, running home for This Is Us. I think for me, I have categories, okay? Growing up as a teenager into my adulthood, my very favorite was A Different World. And especially when Whitley and oh my God, why his name is Dwayne, when he was courting her and they got married. I remember he came in and said, I just love that whole thing. I can live it all the time. That was my absolute favorite for years. And then in terms of drama, I am a West Wing girl. I could watch West Wing any day of the week. Love me some West Wing. But for comedy, I have to be.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
I love you.
Join you there. I am, and the sad part is I'm such a fan. I have the Friends DVDs collection, all of them. I have this Friends game. I have shirts. I'm so mad. I wanted to wear a shirt for you guys today. I pulled out a black shirt. It wasn't Friends. It said okay, but that's okay. But I did bring something. Since I didn't have my shirt. Me and both have red socks.
Me too.
Oh my God.
Wait, you can't see them. Look.
I have on my shirt, and I do have on my My pants. My pants are Friends. I will show you all of the goodies.
You have a whole Friends outfit.
Yes, I have my Friends pants on.
I love it so. I cried at the finale. I watch it if I have to clean and I just happen to turn on Friends, honey, this house will be wonderful. And I'll be walking through laughing and reciting the lines like I was on.
We didn't hear it. We be cracking up like we never heard the joke before.
Like you never heard it before. It's like ridiculous. It was new. And you know what? That falls under the same cynical kind of satire humor that Tracy was talking about. That's where Friends lies. And other shows like Frasier, because I do find that super funny. Anything that has a lot of sarcasm, I love it. Anything that'll make me laugh. You guys talked about different eras in your life. Before I went to college, when I saw a different world, I was like, yes, I'm going to have those experiences. Like,
yeah,
when to get there, I'm going to do everything I see on the TV. Everything. Just, oh my God. I just love everything that would make me feel good. I can get lost in the television. Yeah. I think that brings about another question, but it helps you get lost in what you're seeing. It gives you a moment to take a break from the world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
Oh, I see so many comments down here.
Shondaland. I know. But before we go into Shondaland, because we could go there forever. Before we go into Shondaland, please introduce our amazing guest that's waiting backstage, because we want her to join this conversation.
Exactly. We have Miss Shirley Simmons. She is, I don't have her bio, I don't have her information, but what I'm getting ready to say is just going to blow your mind. She's a 5-time Emmy winning personality. May, if you're ready for a little treat, Fem Talkers, she may show you 1 or 2 or 5. 5. Hello. And welcome. How are you?
I am well. How's everybody?
Great.
Doing great. Welcome.
And before you get into all that you have done and seen, tell us what your favorites are.
I'm so glad you asked me that, because I was listening to you guys, and I am a comedy person. I love to laugh. So I'm a little bit older than you. So my favorite comedy show was I Love Lucy. I still love Lucy. I have the Lucy doll. I have a Lucy cup. I have a Lucy everything, because I love Lucy. That was the best comedy show ever.
Yeah, you made me forget it until you mentioned I used to watch I Love Lucy every day.
I'm still watching it.
And I have friends who will send me a text. Lucy is on this channel. Turn it on. It's Lucy from here. I love Lucy. I still love Lucy.
It comes on every morning. I'm an antenna user at the moment. Not at the moment, for good. And I love it. And at about 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh my God, that's Lucy. And then there's more Lucy. And then there's Lucille Ball. And then there's the Lucy show.
The Lucy show. Everything Lucy. Everything Lucy.
Oh,
that was my favorite show. And then I think Blackish was one of my best comedies. I thought that show was done so well. And watching those kids grow up like right before our eyes, and what they've all accomplished, it's just great. And my one favorite drama show was, Melissa, help me if I'm wrong, was it called 54?
Oh, 24.
Yeah.
20. What? That show was so good. And the music got you like all nervous, and it was great.
I remember when it first came on.
Yeah.
It was me, Lamont, and Sheila, and she came over Friday night. We stayed in front of the TV till Sunday.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
24.
Binge watching.
Binge watching 24.
Oh God.
I mean, you're right. I forgot about all these like shows that just make crazy.
Yeah. I have to name another Kiefer Sutherland show, which was Designated Survivor.
Yes.
That was an amazing show.
Yeah.
Also, he's just a great actor. Yeah.
Oh, that was great too. Great show.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the music during the 24 and how it would be so dramatic. That's where it would end for me because I would be a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh, something's coming. I can't watch that.
I know. You're jumping up and I can't look at it. I can't look. But then you're looking like
I know.
right up on
like this. I'll listen. I can't go.
Because I don't like scary stuff, but that show just had you intrigued. It was it was great. It was great. But they don't make TV like that anymore.
I mean, the TV is so good, but there's this one, and TV has a way of changing, like making a statement, but and changing, like creating, like allowing people to be and represent. Right. One of the best scenes ever on TV was How to Get Away with Murder. Viola, I'm going, and Viola Davis.
Yes.
Off everything, the makeup, the
eyelashes,
went natural. I think
she said, "I'm done."
That was one of the best scenes. I remember it. When it happened, I cried, and I'll never forget it because
it's like when
it seemed like. Was she frozen? It seemed like I don't know. When it ended, I was just standing. I was standing in the room like, did that happen? Okay, what does that mean? It really made you think like, wow, what is she saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's coming out next week, but what is she saying? It just, I don't know.
When you have an actor who can bring that kind of emotion to a part, to just one scene can do that. You're just like in awe. She should have won every Emmy, everything for that one scene.
Yeah,
that one scene. And
then
that's what happens. These shows write so that you can win an award. That's how they do these shows. They write a particular show that's going to highlight everybody. The lighting people, the wardrobe people, the hair and makeup. Everybody gets their turn to shine, so that they're trying to get that award. But she didn't even have to try. She was just fabulous.
Yeah. And I love that you said that too, just to talk about, because sometimes when we're watching these shows, we forget about all that goes into the background. So to note that, they're writing and producing for everybody to get the credit, because it takes so much to make that moment come alive, right? Yes. So thank you for saying that.
And I'm so happy with your hot topics that you got into the writers who are on strike, because that's where the show starts, with that writing.
I want to ask you about your take. I know we have to take a break. We take a quick break and do a commercial, but when we come back, I want to talk to you and ask you, what is your feel on what makes a show successful? You touched on it just now when you talked about the lighting and how they draw us in. But coming from a 5-time winning position, we need to know what the key is.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some hints.
You gotta give us some hints.
Everybody know what show she got her Emmy for. So maybe somebody can give us a clue. No, well, not Jen, not Superfan Jen. Okay,
Superfan Jen.
Can I get the clue?
Somebody a guess, it's on. It was a daytime show. I'll give you a clue. So after commercial, put it in the chat, and we can see who wins.
Okay.
What did she win her 5 Emmys on what daytime show?
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to get right back into our conversation with Miss Shirley Simmons, the 5-time Emmy-winning. We asked you a question before we left. Dr. Simmons said to you, Dr. Melissa said, what is the daytime show that this woman has won all these wonderful accolades from? And we didn't see anything in the chat yet, so the game's still going.
We have to give a hint.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Tracy had a hint. You had a hint.
Well, my hint is only if people really know me. So one of the characters on this show is my alter ego. She is the ultimate diva of daytime television.
Who is Miss Tracy talking about? The ultimate diva of daytime television.
We'll give them another clue. It's a soap opera.
It's a soap opera. Last one, I'll give you one more clue.
One more clue?
Yes, the show occurred in Pine Valley.
Good, Melissa.
You got 3 good clues.
Good clue.
The daytime show. The ultimate diva is on that show, and it is in Pine Valley, PA. Did you guys know that Pine Valley was in PA?
I know, it's real. I drove by Pine Valley. Okay, Jen, go ahead. Jen,
Jen, put it in there.
Jen, go ahead and put it in the chat.
No. Sorry, Mom.
No.
That's the wrong channel. If my sister was on,
wrong town.
Wrong channel.
Wrong
You said,
town.
nope, I'm not telling.
Nope, I'm not telling. We'll leave it out. Well, but we don't want
in a minute.
I know.
She's gonna tell us all the wonderful ins and outs. So
yeah,
you guys are gonna lose this game. Miss Shirley Simmons, tell us.
The shadow.
Oh no!
That's the world turn.
Wait, I see it.
Yes.
Somebody said it. All my children.
Yes.
For bonus points, who is the ultimate diva?
Come on,
from All My
even
Children.
if you didn't watch All My Children, you know
I
the ultimate diva.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows her.
Even if you didn't watch, you know
That's
her.
right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Everybody knew her.
Yeah.
So tell us how did it feel to work there? I got 9 main questions. So let's start with how did it become so successful?
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. How was it so successful? It was on for so many years.
It was on for a long, long time in New York. It was successful, I think, because all the housewives at first, this is what they did. Mm-hmm. They got the kids out to school, and then they started watching daytime TV at like noon after the news. They started watching daytime TV, and then sometimes, the kids were home from school, they still watch daytime TV and they got the kids watching with them.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, and God forbid if the husband got sick and he had to stay home, he had to watch daytime TV too,
That's right.
because
That's
it
the
was
home
a
domain,
fantasy
right?
for them. It was, oh my God, I wish my life was like this, like it was just so perfect, but.
It
And
takes
I
you
think
away.
everybody just wanted a little bit of that fantasy. Just like Tracy said, her alter ego was Erica Kane. And oh my God, Erica, she was a model. She ran a business. She did everything. She was
Did
just
everything.
perfect. And she was rich. I don't know
Yep.
how, but she
Right.
was rich. She married rich men and she got a lot of money.
And I got it figured out. She figured it out.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
This
what
poor
was your?
girl, and then she was the richest one on the show.
That's
She
right.
was.
Yeah,
And the feistiest woman on daytime
yes, she
television.
was.
Let's just
That's
be
right.
clear about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
She was
Let's be
fearless.
clear
She was
about it.
fearless.
Yes. So, what did it look like or feel like to work on a show like that? Like, what was a typical day?
It was a very long day. I mean, Melissa can tell you I worked a lot of hours. Most of the time, I worked a 60-hour week. Um, but it didn't seem like it was work because each day, even though you were doing the same job, it was different because it was a different episode. So you
Yeah.
you kind of looking forward to what was going to happen too.
Yeah.
You want to find out what. Oh, let me read. I used to read the scripts for the whole week. Like on the weekend, I would read all the scripts so I would know what was going to go on. But it was a busy
I love it.
day. I mean, the people who did the lighting would start at like 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging lights
Mhm.
in all the different sets. All the people were putting the sets up. They either put them up the night before or they had to finish early in the morning. And then they all had to be lit for all of his different positions that the actors had to hit their marks, as it was called, while they were, doing their performances. So it started early. The people in wardrobe would come. They would get out all the clothes for the day for every actor that was there. Um, the hair and makeup people came in because, with so many people that had to have all these services, they had to come in early. So, because the first
Oh,
call
yeah.
time for an actor was 7:30 a.m.
Wow.
and we had to be there before the actors got there. So yeah, it was a long day, but it was exciting, and it was more like you were with family every day.
Mm.
It wasn't like a real job. But it was busy, but it was fun. It was fun.
Mm.
And then you realize that these people are really appreciated the work that you did. You know,
Mm.
everybody
That-
appreciated the work that you did. So
That's
that's the important thing. I mean, I don't know if it's still like that now,
mm,
because now everything just seems like it's a job, but it
Mhm.
was like that back then. Because that show, I mean, I started watching all my children from the first episode. I was
Wow.
in high school and I would come home from school. It was my last year in high school. I'd run home and get home for all my children
Wow.
every single day. And then I would leave home and go to my part-time job and
Wow.
then come home and do my homework.
Wow.
How
Did
did
you
you
know at that time that that's the area that you wanted to go into?
I had no idea. I
Wow.
had no idea. Um, my other sister-in-law was working for ABC when she graduated from college. And she was working as a secretary for one of the execs. And she kept saying, oh, how she wanted to work on the show. She wanted to be
Mm.
on one of the shows. And her boss said, okay, you're going to get your shot. And she
Mm.
got on. She put her in, they
uh,
put her in and behind the scenes, and they needed more people. And she said, my sister-in-law can do this. She can do this. So
That is great.
I went in there and I was just supposed to be like a fill-in behind the scenes. And after like 1 month, they hired me full time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was supposed to be just part time, but I never worked part time. I was there though from the beginning. I was okay. You're only going to work 3 days this week. Okay, it was 5 days. So it started out that way, and it got better. It got better. I started out as a secretary in the office, and then I became a production assistant. I was a stage manager. I then graduated to an assistant director.
Wonderful.
And I even directed a couple shows.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talk about, being able to see the show from all different perspectives too, and grow with the show. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you got your Emmys, Shirley, as the production. Yeah, show us one. Let's show us one of the 5.
This one is from 2004
I mean, come on.
to 2005. And this was for editing, because I also did editing. Yes. But even though my niece and nephew have taken over that job, and they're way better than I ever was. I mean, my God, they're great, But so that was one of my editing Emmys. Yeah.
Yes.
How did that feel?
Y'all see them in the background, 3
I
of them
know.
in the background.
Up there, they just standing around looking at us. Waving.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you got the first one? When they gave you your first one?
Well, you know what? It's like so surreal when you hear them say, "All my children," the team from All My Children. You go, "Oh my God, is that us?" Because you're so used to hearing other names.
Right.
So when they say "All My Children," you go, "Oh my God, that's us." And you go up on the stage and you can't even speak. You're just like looking and smiling, and tears coming to your eyes. It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling.
So now you make me want to go through YouTube and see some of the old award shows and see if I see you, because I like that.
You might not recognize me. I look a little different. I was a lot younger.
Wow. That is that's just the best story to tell, that you grew up watching something and then became a part of it and made an impact and left a legacy, because that's really what that is.
Absolutely.
That's
my kids, they used to, I mean, and I remember they used to be at the house. If it wasn't Ashley, it was Nick. If it wasn't Nick, they would pick up those Emmys and just like, this is my Emmy, they probably played like they was winning the award and all that kind of stuff. But to Shirley's point, watching their auntie doing this and seeing the Emmys in front of them, they didn't think nothing of it to go into production. They didn't think nothing of it to, okay, I'm a stage manager, I'm a this, I'm a that. And and that's what our young people need to watch. My acceptance speech is ready.
It's ready. That's right.
To watch this thing happen in front of them and to have an auntie that they could look up to, it's been amazing.
It's like the green light. You've given them the green light. There's nothing. I've done it. You can do it. Yeah. And like you said, they're all of them better.
With all of my nieces and nephews, I always took them to work with me. They would be off from school, take the boys, come on, we're going to go to the job, and then we're going to leave. We're going to go to my other favorite thing, the museum. We're going to Museum of Natural History, and we're going to have a whole day in the city. And they would be, they just were so amazed at what was going on. I took my godson when he was young, and he loved it. And I took my son when he was a little boy, I always took them so they could see, Black people can do this too,
That's right, Shirley. That's
Black
right.
people can do this. Yeah.
And don't forget your brother that you took, okay? Because he's going to get upset.
That's like my other son. That's my other son, yeah. It's my big son.
Your big son.
My big son.
It's been amazing, and I mean she took her sister-in-law too. I've gone.
I sure did.
And
I sure did.
it's just something to see, to know somebody has reached this kind of a level. And you're right, it just makes you know that, oh no, I could do this. So
Yes.
Shirley,
Yes.
you're one of our you are everyday Shiro. So I am always in awe of everything you've done.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you.
I one more question for you before we go
Is
into
it time already?
Well, it winds up pretty fast. We enjoy ourselves so much we forget how much time it takes. Have you worked on anything? And I'll say, even to narrow it down for you, one of the 5 Emmys, and you just thought, this is a winner. This one right here is gonna get something.
You know what? I think, like I was saying earlier, that I'm not going to say it's manipulated, but it's thought about. They write these big, extravagant shows so that everybody gets a chance to shine, So everybody gets, and we have one for like, if whatever we submitted as the best show, what for lighting or for directing, and most of the time it's the same show. We all use the same show because they had the best costumes. The lighting looked great here, and it's not like you have to give them the whole show. You just have to give them a sample of the show. And some people got to use more than one show, which we could do. And this way you put your best foot forward, you remember what was a good show. And we had somebody who kept notes on every show. That was her job. And she would tell you, okay, use this show. This was a great show for you guys. They know right from the beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. They had someone that was her job, to keep track of all the shows and to say what was good on each show. Who was shining on each show. So she, the actors knew what to look at. This way you don't have to go through every show we did for the year. This way you just have, a few to have to look at. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have a question for you, Shirley. Tell us. Who was your favorite actor or actress on All My Children?
Oh my God. It has to be a man because
I know.
Okay, so I loved Dondre when he was on there because he was such a wonderful young man. I love Darnell Williams. Darnell is still my friend today.
Darnell, yes.
He's still my friend today.
Wasn't that Angie's husband?
Yes, that was Angie's husband. Yes, that was Jesse. Darnell is the nicest person. Oh, and Dondre was he was, this young, just a smiling, happy young man. He was so happy to be on the show. And one of my nieces was like in love with him. She was a little girl. She was maybe, how old was Cheryl? Maybe 8, 9 years old. And all she talked about was, oh, his name was Terrence on the show. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. So her mother asked him, would you come out to Jersey and just come say hi to my daughter? And she loves you so much. And it was her birthday. And that girl, she was like stunned. Oh my God, he's here, She couldn't speak. She couldn't open her mouth. It was so wonderful. The people that you met there were just great. They were great. But I love Palmer. The one who played Palmer, James Mitchell. He was a darling, darling man. And a lot of them lived not too far from the studio. So, it was nothing for them. Everybody said, let's go out. We're going to go out and have drinks or do whatever. And we all went. It was like, all right, so what? They're actors, but they were still people.
It was
They're
still
still
people.
people. So, yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Yay.
You know what you spoke about as we get ready to close out, the feeling you had just a minute ago when you talked about Terrence and you talked about
Jesse.
Darnell, I think Darnell.
Yes.
Jesse. You are on the show and your feelings. So imagine what us on behind, in front of the box feel when we get it. And that just brings me to, if we can wrap it up in a short few minutes, and I'm gonna let everybody on here say, why is TV in any one of you? Like whatever it does for you, brings to you, gives, why is it important? Who wants to run with it? Let our guests go first.
Okay, so TV is important because it gives you a little bit of time to forget about everything that's going on in your life. You could be having like the worst day, but let your show that you love come on. You forget about everything, and it just like takes you away for an hour, even if it's an hour, half an hour. You
Right.
know, that's enough time. A half an hour is enough. It just gives you an out. You could just breathe. You could laugh. Like me, I love to laugh. I love that. So I'm going to try to find a comedy on somewhere. I'm going to find a good comedy show. Yeah, I because all that drama, then you get all keyed up, and then you can't go to sleep at night. I'm just, oh my God, it's just too much.
Exactly.
Man, just give me a little HGTV now. I'm really good.
Exactly.
I'm looking at some design. So yeah, it's just something that gives you an out and let you just forget about your troubles and just watch a really good show, a good movie, anything.
I love it.
I love it. You in a nutshell, you said it for me. It gives me an out.
Yeah.
Gives me a minute to think about something other than what's happening in my world.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's for what TV does for me. It brings out my creativity. Like I dream. I'm a big dreamer. Always have been from a kid. I live in fantasy land. So watching TV created a different world for me in a sense where I would see myself, in the middle of those things. If it was All My Children or if it was HGTV, a design show. I remember when I moved into my house 2 years ago, I already had the designs laid out that I wanted in the house. So it allowed me to become real creative. So it brought TV for me, brings out that creative side of me, that writer in me. I never thought I was a writer, but I am a writer. So those kind of things happen because of TV. So it's like, it's a part of your life and you're able to tap in, you're able to see who you want to become, what you want to create. And I just love it for that.
Yeah.
Great.
I love that. I think Shirley said it for me too. It's a way to unwind and kind of escape the day. I usually don't turn on the television until the very last part of the day. And sometimes it's just a little company, right? It's a little something extra in the house as I'm looking to unwind. And that's really just it. I love the creativity behind it, to be honest with you, right? Like Melissa, you just said it brings out your creativity. I love to see what, those out there just like Shirley have done, to bring that to the forefront for me so that I can laugh, so that I can. And I now, I wasn't like this before, but now I love a good cry. So if I could get into a show that gives me so much emotion, and sometimes it's tears of joy, sometimes it's tears of sadness, because I'm kind of just really embracing, the storyline. and I just really get into it. Sometimes I just cry, and it's a good cry for me just because I need to let it out. It may not even be anything going on. It's just that I'm just really engrossing myself in the picture.
Right.
So, thank you to Shirley and to others out there just like Shirley, who bring all of that out so that we can enjoy television for whatever reason, it is. Thank you. Because it does, it means a lot.
Ladies.
TV
It
does
was
mean a lot.
great. It was great. Thank you so much for having me.
You are
Well,
awesome,
thank you for coming on the show. You
Yes.
are absolute inspiration to anybody from either side, the behind the scenes, in front of the television, the watchers. It makes you think, we always think anyway about who wrote that? Who how did they come up with that concept? Now it just makes you think about all those other things, because we've heard so much from someone who was on that side. So thank you. And you are welcome to come back anytime.
Oh, I'd love to come back anytime.
Great.
Awesome. Activity Award winner. Yay. And I think we lost Tracy.
Oh, we did.
Okay, I'll stay then. I'll stay. I'll talk.
Sure, of course. I think we are at the end. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't put my glasses on, but we are at the end of our show. We had another great show. We thank you guys for coming out. We can't wait to see you next week because we are still in September and we are still talking about entertainment. So stay tuned and look for our next show because we're always going to have something fun and we're always going to want to interact with you. Thanks for coming out. You guys have a great night. I think Tracy's back.
I can't
time to say goodnight.
Thank you so much. Take care, everybody, and we will see you back here next week.